Welcome to the 737 Startup tutorial. In this tutorial, you will learn the procedure for starting a 737 from its cold and dark state, meaning all aircraft systems are switched off. We will now complete the first part of the pre-flight procedure. Normally the first officer completes this part of the procedure, but the captain may also do it if needed. We will be ensuring that switches are in the correct positions for startup. Let's begin. Verify that the flight control switch guards are closed. These provide backup hydraulic power to the turn on the yaw damper switch. The alternate flap system provides the fuel heat switches are used to heat the fuel and de-ice the fuel filter in cold. In normal conditions, fuel flow. The fuel pump switches enable fuel circulation from the tanks to the engines. For safety reasons, we will be turning these off. The battery switch controls DC. The galley power switch controls the galley buses, including the standby. The APU, or auxiliary power unit, turn on the APU generator bus switches to supply APU power to the aircraft systems. The 737 is equipped with two fans that cool the flight deck electronic components. Typically, the equipment cooling the guard for the applying heat to the windows before flight prevents ice accumulation and reduces the impact of bird strike. The pitot tubes are devices primarily when ice accumulates on the wings or engines. We need to be sure that we de-ice. For maintenance purposes, it is sometimes necessary to open the ground interconnect switch. The hydraulic system provides power to aircraft controls such as elevate. The Gasper fan increases pressure. The air conditioning switches will maintain a comfortable. When closed, the isolation engine bleed air is compressed air extracted. APU bleed air provides. In order to maintain a landing lights, runway turn-off lights, and taxi lights should all be turned off before startup. Engine start switches should be turned off until we are ready. The gravel protect switch prevents gravel from. The position, anti-collision, wing, and wheel well light switches should be turned off before. Autopilot should be disabled entirely before startup. Ensure that autopilot systems A and when the autopilot is on, the landing gear lever should always be down while the aircraft is on the ground. With their guards closed, the anti-skid, the stabilizer brake release knob, when pulled and activated, will interrupt the automatic stabilizer. We will now complete the second half of the pre-flight procedure. Usually the captain completes this part of the procedure, but the first officer may do it if needed. When activated, the autopilot heading mode will direct the plane toward the specified heading. Set this heading to the default centered. The altimeter uses the Colesman pressure setting, measured in inches of mercury, to calibrate. The speed brakes can be deployed to increase drag. Once the engine is started, flaps can be deployed to increase until we are ready to start. When in the cutoff position, we are now going to prepare to start the engines. Move the fuel pumps to the on position to send fuel from the tanks to the engines. The anti-collision lights must be turned on before starting to trim will offset a control surface to a particular position without needing constant input from the pilot. Ensure that all trim controls are in their neutral positions for takeoff. Turn off the air conditioning pack switches before starting the engines, as we will need as much air available as possible for a successful startup. We are now ready to begin the start procedure for the left engine. The engine start switch will crank the engine when N2 is the rotation rate of the high pressure compressor in the engine, displayed as a percentage of maximum rate. It is an important indicator to reference during startup. Confirm that N2 is currently increasing. The oil pressure gauge is a quick way to check the health of an engine. If it is too high or too low at startup, the process must be aborted until the problem is fixed. Confirm that the pressure is rising. N1 is the rotation rate of the low-pressure compressor in the engine, displayed as a percentage of maximum rate. Once the engine is running, this is the reference indicator used for setting throttle position. For now, confirm that it is rising. Confirm that N2 rises to 20%. We are now ready to open the fuel valves and complete engine startup. Confirm that N2 rises to 35%. The left engine is now started. We no longer need the ignition active, so we are now ready to start the right engine. Move the engines. Confirm that N2 is increasing. Confirm that oil pressure is increasing. Confirm that N1 is increasing. Confirm that N2 has reached 20%. Move the engine start lever to the idle position. Confirm that N2 has reached 35%. The right engine is now started. Move the engine start switch back to the off pin. Congratulations, you have started the 737. Feel free to go.